I will not be afraid. I'm Meek Nomicon, and it's time to have some lessons in fear. What a drag! It's not even been a month since he's got here, and I keep getting in trouble with our new homeroom teacher, Mr. Hemlock. I swear, it's like he's got something against me. He's always like, "Stop dozing off in class, Lucy. Were you paying attention, Lucy? And you're late again, Lucy."
Lucy!
Jeez, can this guy stop getting on my case? It's not like I killed someone. I don't even know what everyone sees in him. Sure, he's good looking and all, but I just don't trust him somehow. Everyone keeps saying that he's got such a kind face, but I kind of want to punch it.
Lucy!
I should check if the new chapter of Unseen Harmony is out yet. The last chapter ended on a cliffhanger. I wonder if Sayori...
Lucy!
Oh, maybe this is why he gets upset with us. We do seem to daydream.
Good of you to finally join us, Lucy. You might not have noticed, but we're in the middle of class right now.
I hear a couple of hushed giggles around the classroom. Seriously? Did she doze off again? I was awake, just wasn't really concentrating on you, buddy. Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
Now, class, it's not nice to talk about your fellow classmates like that. However, Lucy, would you mind sharing your latest fixations with the class today?
Mr. Hemlock, sir. I was just thinking how much I want to punch you in the face. Is that what you wanted me to share?
You seem to be fairly preoccupied with that phone of yours. I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for you to share that fascination of yours with us, right?
No, sir. I'd really prefer not to. Yet, they're still giggling around me. Mr. Hemlock does nothing to stop them this time. Okay, I can kind of see why we don't like Mr. Hemlock. He's a bit of an ass.
Well, Lucy, then I'm sure you won't mind if I confiscated your phone this time. This is the 5th time this week you've slacked off during class. Surely there wouldn't be a problem with that, right?
What? But sir, I need my phone.
To do what exactly?
Oh, complain about you most likely. There's no way I'm gonna tell him I've been reading manga in the middle of class. I might as well give in now while I'm ahead.
Also, Lucy.
Yes?
I'm going to need to give you 3 days of detention.
Wait, what? That's not fair. I've not even done anything that serious yet. Oh, well, I don't want to side with the teacher that's being a bit of an arse, but you kind of were daydreaming in the middle of class when you were supposed to be paying attention. I can kind of see the warranty of detention.
Yet.
He's got me there.
This isn't the first time you've gotten in trouble with me, Lucy. Besides, if I let you off the hook now, your classmates might think I'm playing favorites with you.
Ew. That's the last thing I want from anyone. Well, here we are. God, this place feels weird without anyone else around. Mr. Hemlock isn't even around yet. So, do we just need to camp out in the classroom for a bit? Did I at least get my phone back? I could just leave.
Good to see you, Lucy.
Ah! What the hell? Oh, we seem to have missed our chance. When did he get here? Hey, Mr. Hemlock.
Honestly, I was worried you wouldn't even show up.
He moves around to sit behind his desk, ruffling through some papers.
Listen, I know we got off on the wrong foot, but I really think we could at least be civil. Don't you agree?
He doesn't look at me, still going through his papers. Seriously? Is he trying to have a heart-to-heart or something? God, he annoys me. I guess.
Good. I'm glad we could come to an agreement. Now please, state your name and age for the record.
Wait, what? Name and age? What is this? Some sort of classroom court hearing?
Listen, I know it's a bit weird, but the school thinks this will help with correcting behavior, taking accountability and whatnot. Just go with it for now, okay? Please, name and age.
Fine. Lucy White, 16 years old.
Lucy White? Why do you think you're here today?
Because a certain homeroom teacher... Because I argued with you.
And what was this argument about?
About me not paying attention? I guess.
And?
This guy is seriously getting on my nerves. And for being on my phone.
Good. How does this make you feel, Lucy?
Are you trying to be some kind of B-list therapist? Oh man, we should have bailed. When did this become a counselling session? How do I feel about it? Let's face it, I'm disappointed I got caught. That's the only emotion I've got. I feel upset. I feel like it's unfair of you to punish me just because I didn't pay attention to your lesson.
Don't you think it's also unfair for you to disrupt class for both me and your classmates?
Wait. Hold on. My lack of attention did not actually disrupt this classmate. You did. You're the one that called everyone's attention to me. I mean, you could have just chose to ignore me, and then we would have both been happy. I don't take any responsibility for a disruption. I disrupted class? You're the one that made a big spectacle out of me. What a joke. Fine. If he wants a bad guy for his kangaroo court, I'll give him what he wants. This is dumb. I'm going home. I don't care anymore. Write me up. See if I give a crap. I turn around to gather my things. When I hear a sound I can't justify as natural, coming from Mr. Hemlock. Buddy?
Lucy White, tell me. What do you fear?
You know, I don't actually know. Not monsters. I love monsters. So I'm afraid if you're going to turn into Slender Man, you're not going to have much luck with me. Oh, damn! You're not Slender Man. I don't know what you are, but you've got one long neck, buddy. What? What happened to Mr. Hemlock?
You see, I think fear is a healthy emotion to have for any living being. It teaches us to survive, to grow in the face of the unknown. Some people are obsessed with conquering their fears, but I believe that's a foolish endeavor. If we're never afraid, how could we hope to escape the dangers ahead of us? How can we ever hope to overcome anything in life?
What the hell is he saying? More importantly, how did he turn into this thing in front of me? I must be really losing it, because there's no way this is real.
Oh, this is very much real.
Aw, what a charming smile you've got. Have you got branches sticking out of your skull?
Let me help you, Lucy. All you have to do is trust in the process. Allow me to pry into that tortured mind of yours to find what truly frightens you. Follow my lessons, and maybe we can find a way for you to grow from there.
You're insane to think I'd even tell you any of that. What sort of twisted idea of a lesson is this, you freak?
Freak? You won't be, Lucy. I just want to help you. I am a teacher after all. But if you're so apprehensive about learning, perhaps you should just leave. We have plenty of time to understand each other. Maybe then you'll even come to appreciate these lessons.
Does that mean I'm gonna survive these lessons?
But until that time comes, go. Run along, little lamb. I expect you to be back here tomorrow. We still have 2 more days of detention left, after all.
I underestimated you, Mr. Hemlock. I think we're gonna be the best of friends.
The second he finishes talking, it was as if an invisible lock that had frozen my joints was broken. I don't need another reminder. Or was that a warning? I don't even grab my backpack. I just start running.
What just happened? I knew something was off about Mr. Hemlock, but being an actual freaking monster was not what I expected. I have to tell someone about this, but who? Would anyone even believe me? I almost don't even believe myself.
I run for what felt like hours. The next thing I feel is the soft comfort of my bed rubbing against my cheek. My body is shaking.
What?
I sit up. I'm in my bedroom, backpack left neatly sitting beside the door, and my hoodie strewn over my desk chair. But this is concerning. I know I definitely didn't leave with my backpack. Mr. Hemlock, are you here?
When did I get here?
I don't remember when I got home. I don't remember unlocking the door and getting into bed. How am I here?
A dream? No way! When I close my eyes, I can still see the monster staring back at me, wearing the face of my teacher.
The image burns itself into my memory. I can still taste the fear in my mouth, threatening to choke me.
This was real. I know it was. I just have to get someone to believe me.
Day 2.
The next day, I was immediately called into the counselor's office shortly after class started. I don't get why no one believed me when I tried telling them that Mr. Hemlock is a monster. My parents shrugged it off, saying it's probably my overreactive imagination. While my classmates thought I was just trying to stir up more drama. Why the hell would I want more attention when all that's ever brought me is more grief?
Lucy, a counseling session is supposed to go both ways. I can't help you if you don't communicate.
Oh, right. I'm still in the middle of counseling with Mr. Owens. I've got to stop spacing out like that. Sorry, what were you saying, Mr. Owens?
As I was saying, Mr. Hemlock sent you here today because he's worried about you.
Worried about me? Is that some kind of joke?
According to him, you had quite a reaction yesterday in detention. Want to tell me what happened? I take a moment to reflect on yesterday's events before I respond.
Mr. Hemlock is a monster. He's a danger to society, and I don't think he should be here.
Mr. Owens seems to take a moment to process what I just said, but he doesn't take long before he responds. Interesting. And what do you mean by that?
Look, I don't know how else to explain to you that Mr. Hemlock is not human. He might seem normal to everyone else, but yesterday I saw him for what he really is. I don't think we're selling this very well.
Did he hurt you, Lucy?
No. All we did yesterday was talk.
Are you aware if he's hurt anyone you know?
No. Everyone loves Mr. Hemlock.
I see.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Lucy, the teachers have noted that you've been struggling to adjust to the change ever since your previous homeroom teacher left. Tell me, was she special to you?
Not really. She was nice.
Then why do you hold such a grudge against Mr. Hemlock?
I don't know. He's always been on my case. He's always been singling me out in class, punishing me for the dumbest things. I think maybe he's the one holding the grudge.
And you don't think you did anything to warrant being punished?
I mean, maybe I did, but he was still a jerk about it.
I see. And what do your friends say about this?
I don't have friends. The people in class think I'm weird. I know they would laugh about me.
Interesting.
I'm starting to hate that word. I feel like I'd get so annoyed if I started talking about my feelings to someone and all they said was interesting. It's like, no, it's not interesting. It's anything but interesting.
Lucy, is it possible that you started disliking him after seeing how easily he won the hearts of your classmates, despite how hard you've tried? Could your grudge for Mr. Hemlock have stemmed from envy? Do you think it's possible that due to the stress you've been facing, you created an image of Mr. Hemlock as this monster to justify your hatred of him? Do you believe that could be the case?
I mean, possibly. But I'm gonna say no because I like the existence of monsters. No, god damn it, he is not human. What? No! I know what I saw, Mr. Owens. Mr. Hemlock might seem human, but that thing wearing his face is definitely not. Why don't you believe me? It's your job as a counselor to listen to the students. But it just feels like you're trying to gaslight me.
Lucy, I am listening to you, but unless you have any solid evidence of him being a monster, I don't see how any of this is going to help us understand the real problem at hand.
He is the real problem. You just don't see it. Mr. Owen sighs, his frustration clearly showing in his breath.
I thought we were getting somewhere there, but if you're so adamant about this idea of yours, I don't think there's any way for me to change your mind.
Are you saying you don't trust me?
He worries about you, Lucy. You might not see it, but he does actually care about you. It's not that I don't believe you. I believe you thought you saw something frightening. But are you sure you're not misinterpreting the situation?
I mean, it's kind of hard to do that when you've got a giant monster in front of your face. It seems like a very cut and dry situation. Forget it. You wouldn't understand anyway. I take a moment to breathe. I've never been this emotionally charged before. God, but it does feel good to finally speak my mind for once. It seems like Mr. Owens also had to take a moment to recompose himself. He reaches into his desk drawer and pulls out what looks like a notebook from in it.
Now, I'm going to assign some homework to you. I want you to try journaling the experiences you've had recently. Some people find that putting their thoughts down on paper can reveal hidden meaning and emotions they didn't realize they had. Personally, I find it pretty useful myself.
Like a diary?
Well, some people might call it that, but journaling is more of a way for you to capture your thoughts and feelings onto a single page. It might even uncover some hidden details you didn't even consider before writing them down. Don't you think that's neat?
Okay, so it is a diary.
Also, I've arranged for you to skip detention today. I might have bribed Mr. Hemlock with lunch today because I'm such a cool counselor.
You know, it's hard for me to believe that after you just, said interesting to my feelings. I don't like you right now, Mr. Owens. Also, you didn't believe me about the monster, so we're not friends right now. Did he just wink?
On a more serious note, I know you have a few days left, but from what I've gathered here today, you really need a break.
Thank Thanks, Mr. Owens. I really appreciate that.
Take care, Lucy. I hope you'll feel better soon.
Does this mean I get to go home?
Now that Mr. Owens let me off the hook, I waste no time in heading back home.
Oh, hell yeah!
I really hope Mr. Hemlock doesn't mind that I'm skipping out on detention today. But Mr. Owens did say it's fine, so hopefully it's okay.
He got given lunch. I'm sure Hemlock's fine. Well, I might as well get started on that journal. How do I even start journaling anyway? Should I start with Dear Diary? Dear Journal? This feels dumb. But I really wouldn't know if it works if I don't try it. I showed up to my first day of detention. Mr. Hemlock was running late, and it got me pretty frustrated. I got fed up and tried to leave, but that's when I heard a strange noise behind me. I turned around, and what I saw was a beast. Oh no, it's just Mr. Hemlock normal, right?
A warning.
My teacher, Mr. Hemlock, finally revealing his true form. Oh, we seem to have skipped a bit. This demon spoke to me, charading as a mentor, and spoke to me about fear. He said that I should feel afraid. I felt angry. I'm livid. I'm angry at the monster for knowing I was an easy mark. I'm mad at Mr. Hemlock for embarrassing me in front of everyone. I'm mad at the world for making me feel so small and insignificant. Most of all, I'm angry at myself for being so weak that I can't change anything. The next day, the school's guidance counselor, Mr. Owens, wanted to see me. He told me that what I saw could possibly be explained by my stress manifesting itself as a hallucination. That maybe I was projecting my fears and insecurities onto Mr. Hemlock out of convenience. I came to the conclusion that he's wrong. Mr. Hemlock is a monster, and I know it. I hate that no one believes in me, but what can I even do? Mr. Hemlock wants me to be afraid, but what if that just makes things worse? I'd best not think too much about it. Nothing good ever comes from worrying so much. I take a moment to write down the rest of my thoughts before I finally put down my pen. I take a look at the pages I've written. Strangely enough, I think I feel a little satisfied with what I've written. Mr. Owens is right. I guess this does help put my thoughts together. I place the journal back into my school bag and head to bed. Now that I've sorted out my feelings, all that's left is to figure out what to do tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a good night's rest tonight. Hemlock, oh, you're not here. Day 3. I stayed up all night. No matter where I look, I can still see him, feel his presence. Even when I close my eyes, I feel his silhouette is looming over me, hiding in the shadows of my room. As I get ready for school that morning, I make a promise to myself. I can't let this monster plague me any longer. Class goes by uneventfully, almost peaceful even. I brace myself for Hemlock to call on me, to taunt me, knowing I can't do anything to stop him. But nothing happens. Maybe I was lucky, or he was just having a good day. Or maybe he can feel it too. I don't know what Hemlock is, but I'm sure even monsters can tell when there's a bigger fish in the pond. Before I know it, class ends without so much as a hiccup. The sound of chatter fills the room as people pack up their things and shuffle out, talking about whatever crosses their minds. Any other time, perhaps I would have envied them. But not today. Today is special.
Lucy, not going to join your friends?
Oh, I thought we had detention again.
Or did you just want to spend more time with me? We'll have plenty of time to chat in detention later. You know, I'm thinking of signing you up for after-school tuition. You have been struggling in class lately. Wait, hold on. Isn't that a voluntary thing? I mean, you can't mandate it, right, if it's after school? I wonder why.
Oh, damn, did I stab him?
Shut up!
Oh, just a little bit of stabbing.
His condescending blabbering ends with a quick motion.
A simple kitchen knife does the trick. My actions work faster than my thoughts do.
I picked an awful time to do this. I mean,
the school is still packed, right?
I'm not gonna get out of here without getting caught.
The next sound that comes out of his mouth are not words, but a pained gasp, and then a heavy thud as his knees buckle. That should have been it. I could leave him here, and he'd either bleed out, or he'd transform, showing everyone his true form. But my body moves on its own. I can hear my blood rushing in my ears as my knife pierces flesh, then muscle, then bone. I should have felt something, triumph, or maybe even relief. But even through the awful gurgling sounds he made as he lay dying, I just felt numb. Maybe it was the adrenaline. Or maybe I had truly lost it. The following events passed by in a blur. I remember red and blue lights. I remember the cold steel of the handcuffs. And I remember my mother crying into my father's chest. Eventually, they let me see my parents. My mom is still an emotional wreck, trembling hands clutching at mine. My father looks even more stressed out than usual. Don't worry, baby. We got the best lawyer in the county. You'll be home soon, they tell me.
You know, I don't even think the best lawyer is going to be able to do anything but plead insanity. I mean, we've kind of been caught in the act, right? There's no denying we did it. So unless we try and piece together a self-defense claim, which I don't think is going to work because we've got no self-defense injuries,
I barely have the energy to give them an acknowledging nod. Eventually, I get escorted past loud paparazzi with big cameras to a courtroom, tall and grand. My trial hearing. My parents sit in the audience, giving me a reassuring nod as I walk past them. I pass several other people and receive a range of expressions. Some look at me with pity, the rest are just serious. A few look disgusted and angry. Some bear an emotion I know all too well now. Fear. They start whispering amongst themselves as I walk. I can't help but smile in a morbid sense of irony. It feels like I never left my classroom. Just then, a man in a smart-looking suit approaches me.
Miss White, we've received news that your attorney has had to miss this hearing due to an emergency. Don't worry, he has handpicked a substitute from his team to represent you.
He takes me to the defendant's table before my blood runs cold. Hemlock, is it going to be you? Hi, buddy. Did you happen to have a twin?
Miss White, I'm honored to represent you.
No. No! How?
Now then, shall we begin?
I saw you die! This can't be real.
I assure you, Lucy White, this is very much real.
Ending 1.
We're trapped.
Oh, there's no escaping the hemlock. Okay, so definitely then one of our other endings is going to be if we accept the fact he's not a monster. So if we do start believing it's all in our head, right? So, sure, yeah, I do believe by the fact that we may have made this up due to stress. It could be. I've always felt so isolated in class. Even before Mr. Hemlock arrived, it was hard making friends. People keep saying he's got such a kind face, but it feels like he's always looking down on me. He keeps calling me out in class. He keeps pestering me about how I am, and I just hate the way people look at me after that. I don't even care about being popular anymore. That sometimes it just sucks seeing everyone else getting along while I sit in the sidelines. I guess I just want people to accept me instead of having them pick me apart for all my flaws. The room is silent for a while. Maybe I shouldn't have spoken so much.
I know that your self-image might seem like a matter of life and death at your age, but trust me, you will learn to grow out of it. You will find people who accept you as who you are. It may take a few years, but I think it's more important for you to be comfortable with yourself. Maybe someday, this might even be a funny story to tell when you're older.
I guess.
You said that Mr. Hemlock keeps picking on you and calling you out, but that just shows how much he really cares about you.
Not particularly. Because let's face it, if he truly cared, he would notice the fact that we don't like it when he does this, and then he wouldn't continue to do it.
The people who call us out are often the ones who care about us the most.
Or they're the ones that think they know the best.
Even if they don't. In fact, he was the one who came to me about you. He is worried about you, whether you believe it or not. He does care about you, even if you can't see that.
I take a moment to process his words. Did I really imagine the whole thing because I was jealous of Mr. Hemlock? When I look up, I see Mr. Owens holding what seems to be a notebook in his hands, and a gentle smile on his face. Okay, so if we're going for the ending where we probably reflect on ourselves, right? So we're going to want to see him as a reflection. A vision of the hatred and ugliness I felt inside myself reflected onto my homeroom teacher. This demon spoke to me, charading as a mentor, and spoke to me about fear. He said that I should feel afraid. I felt lonely. I felt isolating. There are times when I feel like I'm the only person in the world where even my echo refuses to respond to me. I've tried to reach out, but it feels like I'm only reaching deeper into the abyss. It's almost too tempting to allow myself to fall into the claws of that monster. At least then, I'd have kept him company for dinner. At least then, I'm wanted, even in this twisted, macabre way. The next day, the school's guidance counselor, Mr. Owens, wanted to see me. He told me that what I saw could possibly be explained by my stress manifesting itself as a hallucination. That maybe I was projecting my fears and insecurities onto Mr. Hemlock out of convenience. I came to the conclusion that he is right. I don't know what I saw. It scares me that I don't. But maybe there's some truth in what he's told me. I've always felt so alone. What if I just needed a reason to hate someone who's succeeding in all the ways I can't? To everyone else, Mr. Hemlock is perfect, and maybe I want to be just like him. Minus the elongated appendages, of course. I take a moment to write down the rest of my thoughts before I finally put down my pen. I take a look at the pages I've written. Strangely enough, I think I feel a little satisfied with what I've written. Mr. Owens is right. I guess this does help put my thoughts together. And the good news is, I don't think we're going to prison this time. Day 3. I wake up.
a solemn resoluteness settling in my gut. I can't do this. I don't even get up for school that day. I spent the whole day laying in my bed, hiding under the covers, almost catatonic. From an outsider's perspective, it might have looked like I was dead. My parents, of course, asked questions, but I think even they could sense something was wrong. They didn't even seem angry, just worried. I was in that state for the next several weeks, barely moving, talking, or even being a person anymore. Not really understanding what had happened to me or what changed. My parents decided the best thing to do was to just start anew. Isn't this essentially running away from our problems? We moved to an entirely different state. I don't know what strings they pulled, but Dad managed to find a new, better paying job where we were going, so we were already financially set. It took a very long time, but I was starting to get better. Maybe it was the therapy my parents insisted I get actually working, or maybe it was because I was in a different place. But I was starting to put all that I had experienced behind me. Let me guess, just as we're getting better, Mr. Hemlock becomes our new teacher. I still don't know for sure what I saw, what happened that day in detention. Maybe it was just a hallucination. But it's not important to me anymore. I'm far away from that place, and I don't have to be afraid anymore. After a while, I was feeling good enough to start going to school again. I was a little nervous on my first day of school. It's not easy to be the new kid after all, being a stranger to everybody. But maybe that's a good thing. I won't have to carry the reputation of being the loser weird girl around anymore. Maybe I'll even make a few friends this time. I get shown around school by a tall, disciplined-looking woman with a warm voice. Here's your class, Lucy. I believe they're having literature right now, but I've informed your homeroom teacher that there's a late arrival today. I tried to hide my disappointment, but this lady is in fact not going to be my teacher. She must have mistaken the look on my face for something else, because she flashes me a big grin. Don't worry, Lucy. I know you had a tough time in your other school, but I assure you, you'll fit right in here. So don't be shy here, okay? Oh, okay. Thank you, Mrs. Jackson. She beams at me, and then knocks politely at the door before poking her head in. I can hear her announce the arrival of a new student, and to treat me kindly. She looks back at me with a smile, then gestures at me to enter. This can't be right. I knew it. Maybe they're triplets. I mean, you have lost your glasses. This doesn't make sense. This was supposed to be my happy ending. I was supposed to... How? You must be Lucy White. I'm delighted to have you in my class. Let's begin, shall we? Oh, you didn't introduce yourself, sir. Oh, ending 3. Escape. I feel like it's more escape as a lie. Okay, so, one more ending. I'm just going to assume that's going to be the last options for us to pick. So, I saw a beast. A terrifying creature taking the place of where my teacher had been. This demon spoke to me, charading as a mentor, and spoke to me about fear. He said that I should feel afraid. I felt afraid. I have never felt fear like how I felt that day. It was a primal, instinctual, animalistic sort of fear. It's the kind of fear that a rabbit feels as it gets swept up by a hawk, a deer when it sees a blinding light on the road. It's a fear so deep that it rests in my bones and whispers ancient stories to me.
I cannot hear the words, but I know how it ends. I must be afraid. The next day, the school's guidance counselor, Mr. Owens, wanted to see me. He told me that what I saw could possibly be explained by my stress manifesting itself as a hallucination. That maybe I was projecting my fears and insecurities onto Mr. Hemlock out of convenience. I came to the conclusion that I don't care. I know what I saw. I know what the stakes are. I know what I have to do. I don't care if he believes me or not. There's no way I can let something like that roam our halls parading in a flesh suit. If push comes to shove, I guess I'll just have to take matters into my own hands. I take a moment to write down the rest of my thoughts before I finally put down my pen. I take a look at the pages I've written. Strangely enough, I think I feel a little satisfied with what I've written. You know, the thing is, if we do choose to stab him again, I'm pretty sure this can be shown as motive and evidence, right? Mr. Owens is right. I guess this does help put my thoughts together. Well, let's see if we do stab him then. Day 3. I lie awake into the wee hours of the morning, just thinking. There has to be a reason he targeted me. There has to be a reason why he's doing this. I think back on our encounter.
What do you fear?
That's it. He wants me to be afraid. I just have to show him I'm not as weak as he thought I would be. If this is a battle of attrition, then I can't afford to lose. The rest of the school day goes by pretty uneventfully, and before I know it, I'm back in front of that hellish monster again.
So, Lucy, do you remember what I asked you in our first lesson? I hope you've given it some thought. When I ask my students a question, I expect an answer. Today's lesson, I want you to tell me. What are you afraid of?
I steel myself for this moment. Just remember, don't be afraid. Don't show him your weakness. I'm not afraid of anything. There's nothing that really scares me anymore. Not even you. Mr. Hemlock takes a moment to respond. I have a hard time reading his expression. My hands start feeling cold and clammy in my clenched fists, hoping to God he bought my bluff.
I suppose you still have plenty to learn. I'll be looking forward to our future lessons, Lucy. There is still so much I'm looking forward to teaching you. This is only the beginning.
Are you going to try and teach me to fear? Good luck, Hemlock. Stronger monsters than you have tried. Ending 2. Indefinite. Well, I feel like it's safe to say that no matter what ending we get, we're not escaping the Hemlock. Joke's on you, monster. I will not be afraid. Also, you're kind of cute for a monster. If you enjoyed your time here, I'd really appreciate you like this video and subscribe to the channel. But in that, it was a spooky day, and I'll catch you next time, guys.